Okay, making some arms and a gun like a revolver can make the game more interesting. Revolvers have some interesting animations and they're so well known. Just using a rig in Blender to get a sense of scale, it's easier working at the scale. And then when you import your arms and weapon into Unity, you don't have to worry so much about scaling down. And a camera setup is useful too, matching in your Unity first person camera. If you approximately set up the same field of view or sort of um focal, not focal range, but not depth of field, but um, well, the sort of how wide the lens is, how zoomed it is. It's usually in millimeters. Just using basic shapes like cylinders and cubes and scaling them and going into the edit modes and then doing things with the vertices to reduce them or merge by distance, and I'm doing it by eye. And you can use the boolean. You can create like a bullet to help bore out for the barrel, and it's also good for the revolver cylinder for all the bullet chambers. And then of course you can scale it down a bit and use it as a shape for the actual bullet itself. Wireframe mode is helpful, and with a gun, the barrel lines up with the chambers and things like that. So there's certain things you want it to kind of have a consistency, like you don't want your barrel suddenly going, not aligned with the cylinder, where the cylinder is kind of lining up. I mean, you want it to kind of make basic sense. People are so familiar with seeing revolvers in old Western movies and TV shows, and in 70s American TV shows like Charlie's Angels. I mean, the detectives always had these snub-nosed revolvers that they were easy to have in a jacket pocket or a purse or something, or hidden away in a desk drawer if somebody suddenly got ambushed. And so they're fun. There's a company called Taurus which actually makes a 5-shot higher caliber sort of snub-nosed revolver type of revolver, so I'm emulating that. Sometimes a 6 shooter just feels like it's too many bullets, and that's what's great about doing your own weapon, customizing and shaping the bullet using beveling and extruding in edit mode, the face, and just getting something that serves as a good prototype, and then eventually you'll duplicate it. I used a lot of decimation geometry too, um, just to kind of keep my vertices down, and the gun parts are separate, and at the end everything except the cylinder and the hammer and the trigger are joined into one. So I move them off to the side because those are the parts that are going to animate. But like the handle of the gun, the butt of the gun, and the barrel of the gun, and that sort of bracing guard or whatever they call that piece that sort of holds the cylinder. I mean, that can be all sort of like the frame. It's sort of like that can be one piece, and I use a Control J to join them because it's still good to have them as sort of separate parts. Sometimes you have to go and fiddle with the sizing. Keeping them as separate parts allows it easier to assign different materials. Switching to light mode, getting set here for using materials, you know, trying to make it so it's not all the same color. Some parts are more metallic or sometimes more gunmetal, like a darker gunmetal. Naming your parts is helpful too. More importantly for Unity, naming the materials can be really helpful. And then more or less you kind of have something, and that's it.